What it is, what it do, what it is, lads and ladettes. It's your boy, Dakota Griswold of Gamers, Nerds, and Geeks United. Welcome back to Yesterday Today. This, of course, is the show where we bring you some of the biggest gaming news you may have missed from yesterday today. Jumping right into the news, and of course, y'all know that I am not just a huge gaming fan, I am also a huge wrestling fan. And well, when some of that stuff collides, it's usually good for me, but not good for 2K games, right? So Randy Orton, his tattoo artist, is suing Take-Two Interactive because they use her work. You know, Randy got the sleeves, and she is responsible for all of the ink on Randy Orton, and they are using it inside the game, and they're doing so without her permission, according to her. And so, I guess, you know, this happens in the game sphere. Sometimes music gets used, or so, like just a couple months ago, we got something with The Last of Us where there was a cover for a song and it just didn't seem over. So they sit there and they had to handle it. So we'll see how this comes along. But yeah, this is kind of popular in the game verse. Now, let's move on here. Something a bit more interesting. Are you a fan of the Rambo movies? Of course, the latest one. It's pretty good. Last Blood was pretty good, but First Blood was pretty good. All of that, right? Are you also a fan of Mortal Kombat? Yes. What do those two have in common? Well, yesterday, Mortal Kombat 11 had an update, and some people went digging in the patch notes, and it appears that it specifies that there are 3 characters coming further in the DLC, and that highlights Melina, Rain, and yes, John Rambo. What? I mean, at the same time, I really shouldn't feel surprised. We already have RoboCop and Terminator, and in the past, we have people like Jason Voorhees, the Xenomorph mixed with the Predator, and you also have had Freddy Krueger. Why does that even surprise me anyway? Now, to have Rambo in there would be awesome, of course with Sylvester Stallone's likeness, and, you know, to have him talking out of his mouth, you know what I'm saying? So it would be very entertaining and very funny. I have not picked up Mortal Kombat 11's Aftermath expansion with the DLC, but eventually I will get into it. Maybe after they're done releasing all of this, I'll pick it back up. I love Mortal Kombat. There is no right or wrong time to buy Mortal Kombat. If you love Mortal Kombat 11 was good. The story mode was great. Story mode was so great that it killed my previous Xbox One X. Yeah, I had to get another one. So I'm really excited to see this. And like I said, we got Terminator and RoboCop already in the game. So why should John Rambo surprise any of us? Can't wait to hear about this. This actually hasn't been confirmed as of yet, but can't wait to hear about it. Now let's jump in and a little bit of black excellence when it comes into the gaming sphere. Quavo from the Migos. Yeah, you already know the song. Taco Tuesday, I got the cheese, she tasting the Kool-Aid. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Migos, but some of their songs is hits. Taco Tuesday was a surprise hit for me because it came out random. But Quavo, one of the Migos, is in Crash Bandicoot's recent trailer, the launch trailer, coming out this week. Crash Bandicoot, It's About Time, officially launching, and it was really, really entertaining to see this because he was going back and forth with a guy that's in a crash suit, back and forth, exchanging some rhymes and some bars. I'm trying to put this in layman's terms here, who's not familiar with hip hop, but they were going back and forth. It was entertaining, and he had a chain with the Ooga Booga mask on it, which was just straight up fire. So this dude is actually a legit fan, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, let's move on here. Well, we got a chance to look at Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Gave us a nice story trailer. Now it looks like it's a pretty good story and everything is set up, but what my biggest gripe is this non-updated, this engine needs to be updating. It looks dated. I can't believe that this is about to launch on the PS5 and Series X, and it looks like it's maybe late 360 gameplay. Now the story absolutely looks fine. The gameplay absolutely looks fine. It looks like Assassin's Creed. It actually looks really, really interesting. They're basically trying to invade England and get some of the kingdom of their own. But this engine is very, very dated. But hey, like most of the Assassin's Creed, me and maybe 20 other million people are definitely going to play this. Now let's move on here. Well, I got a little bit of bad news here. Godfall has officially announced the pricing for its game when it launches on November 12th. And guess what it is? Yeah, it's $70. The second game, well, I guess really kind of, no, I think that, yeah, Demon Souls is also $70. So this game is going to be $70 and up. There's multiple editions of this game. And, well, A lot of people aren't going to be happy with it, especially to the fact that we haven't even seen that much of Godfall. The game is coming out in about 2 months, basically. It's September 30th today. Yeah, so it's coming out in 2 months and we haven't seen enough. They also did say that some of the upgraded versions has DLC and other small trinkets and stuff like that to come into the game. But I was pretty sure that they said back in one of the PlayStation presentations that there wouldn't be any like microtransactions or DLC or something like that. This is the base game, but you're gonna have to pay for DLC. Did they just backtrack on that? Did nobody catch that? Maybe I'm bugging. Let me know down in the comments below, but I do feel like they said that. But honestly, the game for me, as of right now, it looks okay. It looks interesting. It's a slasher shooter, Destiny style game, but slasher. I just need to see more of this game. I'm interested, but I don't even really know. And this is what maybe the only real, besides Demon Souls, you got Demon Souls and Godfall. Those are pretty much the only exclusives. And Godfall might even be coming to PS4. I'm not sure, but those might be the only direct exclusives on the PS5, and I'm really, really interested in knowing exactly what's going on with that. Now, let's finish off the appetizers with Genshin Impact. So, a lot of people months ago, maybe sometime last year, saw a trailer for Genshin Impact, and they went, "Oh, Breath of the Wild clone." Fine. Now, the developers at Studio MiHoYo, they basically said it was heavily inspired by it, but it's completely different. And I played maybe 20 to 30 minutes of it because I just can't hang these days. I'm a working dad. You already know what it is, right? But the thing is, it doesn't play anything like Breath of the Wild, and you're doing all of this stuff with elements. It doesn't feel like Breath of the Wild, none of that. It has its own unique story and everything, but they released an official statement, like they basically wanted to talk about it. And the studio said that said, it is important to note that once you actually pick up the game, you will find the experience of Genshin Impact to be very different from that of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Genshin Impact features a fully original story and characters. In the core gameplay revolves around assembling a party of multiple characters and engaging in a combat system based on interactions between different elements. As we go from closed beta to official release, players will soon be able to discover the unique features enjoyed that Genshin Impact delivers. I can definitely vouch for this. I've played very little, but it doesn't feel like anything like it. And you're literally like maybe 20 to 30 minutes into the game. You have two characters. You start off with one character. You choose who you want in the beginning. I'm not going to ruin it. It's free to play, but I definitely recommend it. And then you play a little bit. You learn the basis of the game, and then you run into another character, and then they join your party. So, and this has been said to have happen throughout the rest of the game. And so, yeah, Genshin Impact ain't nothing really like Breath of the Wild. It looks like it a little bit, but then again, if we comparing everything to everything, and well, everything's a Doom and Wolfenstein clone and Duke Nukem and all of that, because these are the original first-person shooters. Call of Duty is such a Doom ripoff. Sounds ridiculous, right? Exactly. All right, lads and ladettes, let's get into the real meat and potatoes, and it's real good. Let's start off with some Cyberpunk. But this time it's actually not so great news. So it appears that they are engaging in some crunch over there at CD Projekt Red, but it appears that they are just taking it straight on the chin. The developers aren't really happy, but it said somebody received an email, and this is what was circling around. It said, starting today, the entire development studio is in overdrive, meaning that they had to escalate it up to 6 work days. But because of Polish law, they have to pay them straight up, and that's great. I'm very happy about it, and I'm glad people are still being paid. But some people have been working nights and weekends for the last year or so, and I'm not a fan of crunch. I'm not a fan of people having to work all these extra hours and lack of sleep, lack of times with their family. It usually sucks. It always sucks. It always sucks. But they actually really tried to make sure they covered all bases. So they said, I know this is in direct opposition to what we've said about crunch. It's also in direct opposition to what I personally grew to believe a while back. that crunch should never be the answer, but we've extended all of the possible means of navigating the situation, meaning they couldn't find any way out of it. CD Projekt Red has been pretty upfront about everything. They've been pretty transparent up to this point. And they still seem to really be trying to look pretty good to us, the PR speak and everything like that. But wasn't really as much PR speaky as much. He was just keeping it real. Just like, yo, I take that, but we got to do what we got to do. I did everything I had to do. I tried to do everything to try to get us some more time, but we need to get this out on November 19th. So, lads and ladders, even if you were thinking about getting this game, absolutely get this game, because these developers are working so hard on this game. This game has been delayed twice. It's been in development for years, more than 3, 4, 5 years, something like that. It looks amazing. If you're a first-person shooter fan, period, this is for you. If you're an RPG fan, this is for you. Or if you just like great story, this is for you. CD Projekt Red apparently knows how to do all of those great, and they've proven that, except for first-person shooters. If there are a first-person shooter that's made by CD Projekt Red, correct me down in the comments, but I have none to my knowledge. But they have proven that they make great RPGs and great stories with the Witcher franchise. So give them this time, help them out. Go ahead and buy these games so the developers can they can rest, they can be happy, they can spend time with their families, go on vacations, because they're proving that they are working really, really hard with these Night City wires that they have every month or so. So yeah, if you really, really want this game, this is giving you even more of a reason to go out and buy this game. Straight up. It's very unfortunate, but I really wish everybody the best over there, and go ahead and put out this game. You have my support. I cannot wait to play this game. This is maybe my first, because I had three really anticipated games this year. This is right at the top of the list. It's really fighting with number one between that and The Last of Us, and I absolutely love The Last of Us. So I know this game will be great. This is probably going to be game of the year, honestly. And this, despite it being 2020, was still an amazing, amazing year for games. But please go out and support this one, and I can't wait to play it. Let's move on to some Xbox. And in fact, we're closing out with Xbox because I got a few things I want to discuss about Xbox. So we got the games with gold for Xbox, and well, I mean, what do you expect at this point, right? So when you started off here, you got Slay Away Camp, the bush is cut. You know what? I went to IGN, and I'm going to go ahead and read you some of these synopses, right? Slay Away Camp Butcher's Cut is an homage to the classic 1980s horror where you play as Skullface, a villainous character set on terrorizing any and all camp counselors and campers at a camp. You already know what this sounds like. Friday the 13th. Absolutely. This isometric slasher horror game features over 300 puzzles for you to solve. Check out. Yeah. So basically, it's a game where you're basically trying to run away from Jason Voorhees, or you're trying to get to them. And it sounds cool and all that, but you know, if you haven't played it and you're interested, this is up your alley. Then you have another horror game called Made of Skur. And now just sitting there reading it and thinking, it's Halloween in October, right? Well, all of this stuff makes sense. So you got Made of Skur, and it says, Made of Skur continues the spooky themed fun by putting players in a remote hotel with a gory history based on Welsh folklore. Yeah, all right. Now, it sounds like another horror game that I ain't messing with. I don't like them helpless horror games. I ain't trying to run on game. But yeah, I'm not knocking horror, though, because I know it's a lot of horror fans out there. And lastly, they are giving us Sphinx. I ain't even reading that. It was originally on OG Xbox, and it's Sphinx. I ain't play it because the Pharaoh was white. I'm just being straight up G with you. Pharaoh was white. Egypt is in Africa. Egyptians are black. That is it for that one. Okay. So now let's go to Game Pass. So they're taking some stuff away and they're giving us more. Let me tell you what's happening with what they are giving us and what platforms, you know, as far as Game Pass goes, they will be on. Doom Eternal officially launches on Xbox Game Pass October 1st, and it will be on Android and console. I love the fact that it's on Android. It's basically on Game Pass for your phone. It's awesome. Just think about it. On October 1st, matter of fact, in March, earlier this year, we got a chance to play Doom on our Xboxes and PlayStations. October 1st, we're going to be able to play Doom on our phones. Take a second to appreciate that. Then, of course, we have Drake Hollow. That's only on PC, and that's coming out October 1st. Brutal Legend. a game that I never really got a chance to finish, but really enjoyed, with Jack Black in it, of course. That comes out October 8th on Game Pass, console only, of course. Forza Motorsport 7 comes out October 8th on Game Pass. That is on Android, PC, and consoles. And then Inkenfell, it's on console and PC, and it's an ID at Xbox title, October 8th. Now, let's talk about what's leaving. Felix the Reaper, that's leaving both console and PC. Metro 2033 Redux, both console and PC. Minute, console and PC. Saints Row 4, Reelected, just PC. And State of Mind. Well, Game Pass continues to add some great stuff, take away some pretty good stuff, and just leave the great stuff there. Even though Metro, you better get up on that. I mean, you can really generally catch the remasters pretty cheap, but Metro, those games are great. Metro, oh man, I love these games, honestly. And so you got Metro, and I haven't even played any. I'm a huge Saints Row fan. Everybody just compared it to GTA enough. I mean, like I said in the earlier segment, you can just compare everything to everything, and it's just like there is everything. You can compare stuff in games, period. You don't compare anything else. Or do you compare Skyrim or anything like that to GTA? No. Just because it's open world doesn't mean, it's a GTA clone. We need to let that go. But definitely in love with Game Pass, and there's still more coming. Doom Eternal, and then we're gonna get a Vow. We're gonna get all of this. Eventually, Xbox is killing it. But let's close out with this. So it's some confusion here, right? But EA Play officially gets attached to Game Pass on launch date, November 10th. Very exciting, right? But here's the confusion. If you have EA Play, Microsoft will cancel it for you, right? But then they're going to kind of round up the numbers up to like 50 days or something like that. It's really confusing to just buy Game Pass so this way you can have EA Play. But then they released this chart of comparison, and it's just really confusing. So if you have EA Play months remaining of 1 month, you get 10 days. 2 months, you get 21 days. 3 months, you get 1 month left over, and so on and so forth. It doesn't really sound all that great, but then you can just get Game Pass on November 10th, and you can play all those EA games without having to worry about this confusing chart over here, because I ain't with it. Lads and ladettes, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining me today. Go ahead and hit the like button if you haven't already. If not, hit the dislike. If you're new here, please go ahead and subscribe and scroll up to all so you know when your boy is posting. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and this video is finito.